Hello you guys, welcome to this episode of the Appalachian History Detectives. We're on site and I am here with my buddy Sid. And we're not exactly on a battlefield, but we're pretty close to a battlefield. He's been here a couple times, 6 or 7 times, right? More than a couple. Yep. And he's found a New York, is it a New York plate?
Yep, SNY.
He lives here near where I live and he saw that I use the Deus II. For those fans out there that use the Deus II, you all know that one of the biggest problems with that machine, this pops off real easily. In fact, it pops off so easily that many people lose this. For whatever reason, it is a flaw by Deus. I did a little video, and I'll put it in this video somewhere, so it might be at the end of the video, but I did a video where I popped the old piece off, and I put the piece on that he sent me. But this is what was on there, and he made this piece, and I brought another one out so you can see it, and you can see the difference in size, but it attaches the same way. This piece up here is what keeps this remote from falling off. He has a store on Etsy. Yep. And he sells those. So I'll put a link down in the description down below. If you got a Deus and you want to stop losing your controller, well, right here's the man who makes them, so he can hook you up. All right, you guys, I hope we find a lot of stuff here. If not, well, we'll go somewhere else. We'll see you in the first hole. There's a little bit of grunt in there. 18, 19, 20. It could be some trash. Okay. Right there. We have a coin. Our first plug of the day is a coin. Yep, it's a Lincoln set, and it's in real bad shape. Yep, modern penny. It hadn't been found before. Let's go to the next hole. It's about 17, 18. But that's bullet range for this machine. All right. Still 17, 18. That is, be something good, baby. We are on it. All right. That is a genuine, that looks like a Gardner bullet. That's a Confederate bullet right there. All right, you guys, look it up. Let's go to the next hole. I had a decent signal, and I think I see it. I don't know what it is, and it's right here. Right here, and it looks like a button of some sort. It is a button. Is that EE for Lee, like General Lee or Wrangler? I think it's going to be a Lee jeans button. So we'll clean that up. We'll see what that is. I'll put it in the video. All right, I got a great hit. Yeah, it's a little jumpy now. Could be trash. Could be a quarter. I don't see it. I might be completely wrong. Oh, there it is. There it is. It is a 3-ringer mini ball. All right, boy. Oh, now this is interesting. Looky there. You see that hole in the top? So this bullet got stuck in the barrel, and they had to pull it out. And that's what they did. They'd put a rod down and drill into that and pull that out. So that was a dud. All right, but we'll take it. All right, just brought out this piece of horse tack, found in that hole right there. Found that bullet right over there. Could that be from the Civil War? Maybe, maybe not. It was right here by that bullet, and the troops moved right through here. And I'm told they bivouacked right here in this yard, including Mr. Custer himself. General Custer was right here in this yard. There's written documentation. All right, let's go to the next hole. All right, you guys, I think I found a smashed bullet right off the front of the house, right here along the highway, not very far from where I found that other bullet. All right, so here's what I found. And yep, that is a smashed Civil War bullet. Hey you guys, I got to jump in the video right here, and I really apologize, but my mic crapped out here. You can see it's right here. There is no light on it. So from this point on, I'm just going to have to do a video audio dub. I'm actually unsure what's happened because it was fully charged, but obviously I must have bumped into it and it's powered off. But anyway, let's get on with the show. I got some great stuff to show you, and we'll make the best of it. So I found this bullet around the tree there, and that's what I'm describing here. I think that the tree that the bullet went into it, and you know, as the tree died and rotted, you know, the bullet kind of fell on the ground there. But anyway, that's what that is. We got a flat bullet from the Civil War. Not bad. Let's pocket it. Let's keep going. All right, you guys, so I'm here with Sydney, and we're doing the wrap-up for him because he's got to leave. He has another appointment. I'm staying here probably another hour, and I'll show you what we find in that next hour. Actually, the best finds of the day that I found is after this point right here. But, you know, this is one of the coins that Sydney found on a prior dig at this site. It's 1860, I think it's 1863 or thereabouts, that coin. He didn't know what this was. I told him it looked like a lipstick container. He had a couple other things here. That's an old pewter button that he found. He found that on a prior trip, not this trip. So, but he found it close to the road there where we were. And this here is probably a modern quarter. He did find some pewter spoons, and these are really old. And he found this here behind the house where we were digging. And they weren't, I don't think they're a rat tail, which would have been really old. So we're looking at about 1780 to around 1820 right there. I think he's got 3 or 4 of them. Over here, this is actually what he found on the day that we dug right there. Found some kitty cars, some clock gears, and some odds and ends stuff. This here is showing you some china that he found. You know, again, just some pewter spoons. You know, it's an old site. This house site is a very old site. It was a great site to dig. Well, there he hit it. You can see where he hit it right there. He found some buckles here. A couple other things he found here I'm going to pull up. And one is like a Navy pewter soldier, and that's what this is right here. And it looks like he has a parachute on the back. Some of those are cool finds to find. I found one of those before in the past. Pretty some odds and ends. We're showing them to the landowner. He's right there with us. I really appreciate Sid inviting me out on this detection. And again, we stay, so if you guys hang tight, I find some great first-time Civil War bullets. And I got some coins we find that actually predate the house. So if you guys stay tuned, we'll get to those clips right next. All right, you guys, this is an interesting item that I pulled out of the ground. And at the time, I thought it was just something from a piece of furniture because it looks like it's concave there at the top. You know, it's pushed in on the bottom too. Unfortunately, it was one of those items that I didn't know what I had until after I got home and started cleaning it up. But what you're looking at is actually a 2-piece button. It dates from probably the Civil War, and it probably could be from the Civil War. And I'll take a picture of it, and I'll put it in the video. But it actually was a fantastic find, and I didn't realize it at the time. All right, so this item right here is probably one of my best finds of the day. It's not the find of the day. I'll show you that later in the video. But this one here is an old coin that we find, and this is a British copper. And British coppers, they date, you know, they can date from the 1716 to really 1780s, into the 1780s. I think this one here is probably a KG2 or a KG3, which would be mid 1700s to probably around late 1780s. And King George coins, actually, they did mint those later, you know, later into the 1800s. But typically the British coppers in the colonies were the currency used during that time. And this one's pretty wiped. I don't get any details off of this coin. I'll do some close-ups here so you can look at it. But it's an old British copper, and this one here is probably 250 years old. Always fun to find, always exciting to find, especially at an old house like we're at. So, you know, my luck started turning around at this point in time. You know, I found this coin here. There's an old an old well pump right here behind me where this tree's at. And I just started detecting around that well, and most everything that you see me find in this video was pretty much around that well, including this British copper. Not far from that copper, I get a great signal here, and pop this out of the ground. Again, we're by the hand pump, and we'll pull it out of the ground right about here. And what this is an old brass flat button. And this brass flat button, I'll take a close-up of it, and I'll put it in the video too. And it's actually quite old. Any writing on the back of a button typically can date it, you know, anywhere from 1820 to 1840. Anything that doesn't have any writing on it typically predates the 1820, but that's what this is here. And we always like finding buttons. Those are always exciting to find. And many sites, you know, you could find a dozen of them at least. All right, you guys, now this plug I would consider my find of the day. Again, I'm right there by the pump, and I popped it out of the ground on the VDI. I think it read somewhere around 1819, and that's Civil War bullet range. And this Civil War bullet, I have only found 2 ever, and this is the second one I've ever found. And this is one of the largest Civil War bullets made, and this is a 69. And this one here is an unusual one. It is a Prussian, 69 Prussian Civil War bullet, and just ginormous. I can't imagine getting hit with one of those. It's bigger than your thumb. They're not real common to find. They're actually quite rare. And you know, found that right there by the well, right there with the coin, the button, and the other bullet. So very excited to find that. I was just thrilled to death. Okay, you guys, so I thought I'd throw this coin find in the video. It's not a real old coin. It's a pretty common coin. This is going to be a wheat cent. This coin was found around that well too, and this was more in line with what I thought I would find around that well. Typically when you have people doing laundry, needing water for domestic purposes or even their livestock, you know, and any sojourners or people coming around needing a place to stay, you know, they would go out and get water. So I knew the well would be a great place to look for artifacts. And in this case here, this is just a simple wheat cent. But, you know, wheat cents, you know, they can be quite old too. And this one is quite old. And I thought it was cool. I like wheat cents. And, you know, we'll pocket that. We'll keep going and add it to our collection. All right, you guys, so I find something here. I'll have you guys take a look at it. You can tell me what you think it is. There by the well, I think it is a button of sorts, but I think this is more of a denim button that would be more commonly used in maybe some modern clothing, maybe some coveralls or some jeans, something to that effect. I couldn't really tell there because it was, still filled with dirt and dirty. But I'll take some close-ups of that. Hopefully we can identify what that is. And I'll put it here in the video. You guys can comment on it, tell me what you think it is. But, again, right there by the well, that well produced a lot of artifacts. So this item I find is rather quite old, and it's pretty common. Again, another common item you'd find. I would expect around an old well like this for the woman in the house who was doing the laundry. And it's an old suspender clip, but it's not a typical suspender clip. This one here is made out of a tomback material, and it was so fragile that it actually broke just while I was holding it and trying to ID it, trying to see if I could get something off of it. It's a beautiful artifact, really, but it's very, very, very fragile. You know what? I don't think it is a clip, a suspender clip. It has two holes on it, one on either end of it, and it looked like it may have attached to something. Maybe a piece of saddle adornment, or maybe it went onto a piece of furniture. I don't know. But there's, on either end of it, there are holes there where it attached to something. But I'll try to take a picture of it and put it in the video. You guys take a look at it and tell me what you think. All right, you guys, so we're going to do the wrap up here. And we actually do quite well. We found quite a bit of stuff. I wish Sydney was able to be here at my final wrap up. Unfortunately, he had to go and we didn't do our wrap ups together. He got to see this. I did show him some photographs of our finds, and I think you guys will hopefully like what we did find overall. We found that 69 Prussian there. We got a 3-ringer right there. We have a Confederate Gardner right there below it, and those are always fun finds. We found 2 bullets that were shot and lodged in that big tree stump. We found 2 grommets there. We found that piece there. I don't know what happened, so the end of it came off. And then we found some flat buttons and some other buttons and that British copper right there. Always fun find. Found some some cents, wheat cents. Found a few wheat cents there. Just a great day. We had a fun time, a great day. And I really appreciate you guys tagging along, being with me on this journey. Thank you for being patient with me having to voice over. Things happen. My apologies. This is the first time this has ever happened. And it's because I have new technology with me. And unfortunately, the batteries don't last as long as, I'm out there digging. And so I've got to figure that out. But I love you guys. Thanks for joining me. We'll catch you on the next one.